Story 1. When a woman ends the relationship, it is not the time to try harder to salvage it. Leave it alone and move on. Story 2. Never stay in a place where you are not chosen. The moment you feel like an option, a backup plan, or simply not valued, stop trying to fix it. Do not explain. Do not argue. Do not beg. Just remove yourself silently, completely, and without apology. Cut the cord with clarity, not emotion. You are the value you have been searching for, and it was never meant to be validated by a job, a partner, a friendship, or even family. Protect your worth. Walk like you know what you bring. Story 3. Choose a wife very carefully. Number 1, make sure she is good with money. I cannot emphasize enough how much this will change your life. Story 4. Never co-sign a lease for friends. Also, being drunk is fun. Being an alcoholic is not. Moderation is important. Story 5. Not wearing a condom. I know it feels amazing without protection, but it is not worth the risk. Trust me, there is a risk of pregnancy and sexually transmitted infections. Story 6. It does no good to mention it. The young men do not listen anyway. I never listened, but here goes. Do not ignore red flags. Your brain is telling you to stop, but your biological desire to procreate is telling you that you are imagining the red flags. You are not imagining them. Story 7. Not everything requires your reaction. Sometimes, just letting things be and making your mind at peace is much better than draining your energy into endless dramas. Put effort into your relationships, whether with family, friends, or partners. At the same time, do not commit too much to those who will not match your commitments. It's okay to move on. This can be more challenging with family. Never have a fear of missing out. Things come and go. Keep your head down and focus on adding value to your craft and skills. Never show off. Some people try to take advantage of those who flaunt their wealth. Story 8. You can waste your life comparing yourself to others. Everyone is different. Yesterday's you is the benchmark. Keep moving forward. Story 9. Too many to list. Maturity comes from making mistakes and learning from them. Focus on avoiding life-altering mistakes that may take years to recover from. Avoid drugs and alcohol. Do not waste your time. Do not maintain relationships with people who hold you back. Always use protection. Always use a condom. Surround yourself with others who spend their time improving and building a future for themselves. Be productive with your time. Focus on what will help provide you with better opportunities, a better future, and a better life. Spend your time working toward those goals. Story 10. Don't underestimate your partner's or wife's history. I didn't really check or care about what types of previous partners she had and thought that it was just history. However, the traits she had when she was 20 come back when the kids are old enough, and she wants to feel young again before around 45. Story 11. Drink only in moderation. Do not use drugs. Always work hard and do not give in to the temptation to quit when things get hard. When you have children, make sure they are independent at every stage of their development as much as possible. Do not neglect their emotional, physical, and spiritual needs. Encourage them to be comfortable making mistakes by not shielding them too much from making their own errors. This advice comes not because I am a parent, but from what I wish my parents had done more of. Story 12. I waited until I was 41 to buy a drum set and start learning. I wish I had started 20 years ago. Story 13. When you move out for the first time, you may become lazy. Try not to use food delivery services if you can. Learn how to cook and take care of yourself. Story 14. Do not self-sabotage otherwise healthy relationships because you feel like you do not deserve them on some level. Story 15. I dated a hot girl, a woman who was really attractive, and that was her personality. I found it exciting because I had grown up feeling like a loser, and it was cool dating someone with her attitude. However, she was the only woman I have dated who made me angry and frustrated enough to reach for a drink. Do not do it. You do not have to accept someone who wants you to feel grateful for their time and makes you feel replaceable. My wife is just as attractive as that woman was, but she treats me with respect and dignity. We all deserve that and nothing less. Story 16. If a woman threatens to leave, let her. Real love does not give up as soon as you hit a rough patch. It works through it and comes out stronger. Threatening to leave is just another ploy of control and conditional love. Story 17. Never stop learning. Pick up a book, hobby, or skill, anything. Life will easily become very monotonous if you let it. Story 18. When you are young, it is the most statistically probable time to make the least amount of money in your life. Even so, start saving for retirement. It is financially important, but even more important mentally. Learn to live on a budget. Story 19. I'm 24, but people tell me that I'm mature for my age. When a relationship isn't bringing out the best in you and isn't serving you, it's time to go. Don't chase anybody. It's not romantic. Police chase people. Dogs chase people. Geese chase people. You cannot chase someone unless they're running from you. Focus on those who are coming toward you. Not everything requires a reaction or a response. Respect others until you're disrespected by one. Then, cut them off or tell them they crossed your boundary. If it's habitual, cut them off. Don't get involved in drama. Drama is a distraction and will quickly ruin your image and authenticity. If two of your friends aren't getting along, stay out of it. Never make a relationship or people your entire life or existence. People come and go. Never date someone with high expectations. High expectations mean they will expect things and treatment from you that they won't reciprocate. Don't marry someone because they're attractive and you're in lust. Don't be lazy. Being productive is more rewarding. Some downtime and a lazy day are fine, but being idle too long will be detrimental to your growth. 10. Love who you are and be comfortable with being alone before getting into a relationship. You can only share what you have. 11. Read the fine print. Just because it sounds good doesn't mean it's good for you. 12. If someone doesn't want you, then you don't want them. 13. Alcohol and partying may be fun, but they can also ruin your life. 14. Never make relationship promises when you're naked. 15. Save as much money as possible. Do you want to have a life like no other? You have to save and live like no other. 16. Look at both sides of a story and ask questions before forming an opinion. 17. Do not give advice unless it is asked for. When someone opens up, ask if they want to vent or want advice. 18. Don't hold grudges or chips on your shoulder. It hurts you and does nothing to the other person. 19. Don't act on emotions. Cool off and think logically. 20. Don't change who you are to impress anyone. If you have to impress them, they're not the people you want in your life. 21. It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to use your past to abuse or mistreat others. It's also not okay for someone to do that to you. 22. Fighting isn't worth the time or energy. 23. Only compete with yourself. You'll learn your strengths and weaknesses and which methods work better for you. When you compete with others, you're too busy looking at them and trying to outdo them by any means necessary, destroying yourself in the process. 24. Don't compare your life to others. Life isn't a race. Never compare yourself to anyone. 25. When you're at work or school, keep your nose to the grindstone, do what's asked of you, and go home. 26. Don't believe everything you hear and only half of what you see. 27. There are 3 types of people. Think of it like a tree. You're the branch. Most people are leaves, some are branches, and very few are roots. Take time to get to know someone and see where they belong. Too many people put the leaves where the roots are, mistreat the roots, and then the whole tree dies. Story 20. Marriage in the United Kingdom is a legally binding contract. Read the terms and conditions carefully. If you bring more wealth or earnings to the marriage, work with a solicitor to protect yourself if the marriage ends. Only an unwise person signs a financial contract with someone who has an incentive to break it. Ignore anything that deflects you from protecting yourself. The more someone claims you are not being romantic or do not love them, the more you need to follow this advice. Men often marry for love. Women are wise and often marry for business. If you do not follow this advice now, there is a 50% chance you will regret it in the future. Think about those odds. Are you feeling lucky? Expect disagreement from those offended by the idea of not automatically receiving half of everything they did not earn. Story 21. Always use a condom even if she is on birth control. You do not want to be scratching yourself like a crazy person, and you definitely do not want 18 years of child support. Story 22. I didn't invest every year I could in a Roth individual retirement account, but I did buy 5,000 shares of Apple stock back in 2001, along with a few other good stocks, so that's good. I did not hire a top-notch financial lawyer to draft a trust to protect my assets in case of divorce, but I got lucky because she wanted to shield her individual retirement account and retirement from me, and I was happy doing a quid pro quo. It worked out, but it could have been disastrous. In short, set up a Roth individual retirement account if you do nothing else and contribute the maximum each year, currently $7,000. Hire a lawyer to set up a trust to protect your assets in case bad things happen. Don't get to your 60s without money to live a decent life like so many men I know. It's heartbreaking to see men slide into depression and perpetual anger when they have lost their social network, have no money, and their bodies are failing. Don't be one of these men. Story 23. Keep away from drugs and alcohol. You may be able to live a normal life, but you will not know until it is too late. I hate saying that. I love drugs, but I love drugs because I am unable to live a normal life. Story 24. Never do anything that you do not want. Never compromise yourself for others, whether it is your partner, your friends, or anyone else. You will never think, I am happy I did not do what I wanted and did something else because someone asked me to. Never. Story 25. I tried. I quit trying at the age of 32. Back in the day, I used to think my problems in the romantic front could be solved for good. I had no financial woes, debt problems, criminal record, alien abduction stories, horrible family problems, religious hang-ups, addictions, or health worries. I had many friends and a close family. I liked snowshoeing, running, soccer, reading, cooking, hiking, writing, my two big huskies Frosty and Snowball, and lots of other pursuits. I even learned how to dress well, but I apparently had some insurmountable strikes against me. I don't want children and didn't have any, especially as a stepfather for some long-gone person. Also, I'm short. I'm unattractive. Sadly, by any objective standard, I'm ugly. I'm cheap. What I really needed to hear was the following. Yes, you are, from any objective standpoint, very unattractive and short, and there is nothing you can do about it. Yes, refusing to father children or to be a stepfather is a handicap and limits the number of potential mates even further. The chances of you finding someone that, 1, will accept these facts about you and still want to be with you, and 2, to whom you are also attracted, are 0. You will never pair off with someone and you will live your entire life alone. This is inevitable and you should prepare yourself for it. Why didn't anybody ever say this? One reason is profit motive. There is very little money in writing self-help books that say the reader is doomed. 2 is this creeping politeness that compels people to lie instead of telling the frank truth. You may also be forever alone, but there is nothing to stop you from working on yourself. Nothing to stop you from working out, cooking, and eating healthy so your body is a temple and you feel good walking, running, hiking to see beautiful nature and woods, learning a new language, discovering a passion for painting, sculpting, drawing, playing guitar, playing piano, or whatever else, except you. Story 26. Losing hair? Feeling tired? Everyone treating you like you are subhuman? Get some blood work done and see what is going on with your body. Stay away from religion. Your brain will thank you for it. Story 27. A bad partner will put you in a deeper hole than a good partner can dig you out of. Financial and emotional damage will take time and concerted effort to recover from. Invest early and as much as possible. Never use margin or debt to reach your financial goals. Use your employer match in the 401k plan if offered. If it is 3% or 6%, contribute at least that amount as a minimum. Vices can be enjoyable early on, but they have long-lasting effects if not controlled from the start. Drugs, alcohol, gambling, and similar behaviors affect your mental health, physical health, and financial well-being. Story 28. I stopped working on myself in the relationship. I was 19 and far from perfect. Never stop trying to improve yourself. It ruins you in the long term. Story 29. Be outspoken about your needs, your mental health, your struggles, and your feelings. Speak to male friends about what you are going through and listen to them share their struggles as well. Took me too long to open up to my male friends, only to find out that I was not alone. Story 30. One mistake? I wish I only made a dozen. Do not start potentially bad habits. You might be a party pooper, but you will not wind up as an alcoholic with $50,000 in debt to a casino vaping bubblegum. B. Keep yourself in good mental and physical shape. Exercise and meditate 3 times a week. C. Take your education seriously. D. Learn to cook good and cheap food. E. Save early and often. Save until it hurts. Then save more. F. Be active in keeping your friends. G. More money does not mean better or happier. H. Buy it for life. 1. You will copy your parents' parenting style, the good and the bad. The number of times I have opened my mouth and heard my father, you will often overcorrect a position you did not like your parents doing. For example, my parents bought me everything. I do not know how to work hard, so I am kicking my kids out on their 18th birthday. This will not match your spouse's parenting style. J. You will copy your parents' marriage, the good and the bad. K. You do not need streaming services. The library has lots of movies. Pawn stores have cheap videos. L. Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life. Never let her put you on the couch. You have just as much right to the bed as she does. If she does not like it, she can sleep on the couch. And having a penis does not mean you are the less competent parent. Oh, never ask your spouse to do something they would say no to. P. Pretty or ugly on the outside does not correspond to what is on the inside. The movie Shallow Hell. Story 31. Do not give a mile to someone who would not go a foot for you. I am not saying do not be helpful to others. We should all work to make everyone's lives easier. But in relationships, you should figure out who is more of a taker than a giver, if that makes sense. Story 32. Stay away from people who hold you back in any way. Surround yourself with those who are striving to succeed, working hard to improve themselves, and who can support you in your own journey. The people you surround yourself with can be vital to your future. Remember, if you associate with unproductive individuals, you risk becoming like them, regardless of your potential and knowledge. If you are the smartest person in the crowd, then you are with the wrong crowd. Story 33. This too shall pass. The good things do not last forever, so prepare for them. The bad things do not last forever, so work for them. Life has its ups and downs. It is the down moments that give us gratitude for the up moments. Story 34. Try to stay away from pornography. Pornography can really affect men's mind, body, and relationships. It creates unrealistic expectations about sex, so when you are with a real partner, things can feel dull even if they are completely normal and healthy. No one has marathon-level Olympic sex every time. Those scenes are scripted, edited, and performed by professionals. Comparing yourself to that can cause anxiety or disappointment. In terms of brain chemistry, pornography is like repeatedly triggering a dopamine rush. If done often, regular everyday activities like real intimacy do not stimulate you the same way. This can result in low sexual desire or performance issues unrelated to your physical health. There is also the mental burden. Secrecy, guilt, and intrusive images that appear at inconvenient times. This combination of secrecy and shame perpetuates the habit. Additionally, consider the time spent. Watching a few videos here and there can quickly add up to large amounts of lost time. Time is the one resource you cannot recover. In summary, reducing pornography consumption leads to a clearer mind, improved sexual experiences, and more time for things that truly matter. Story 35. If it's not going to work out, end it before an action you'll regret does it for you. But if you can salvage it before it gets to that stage, do it. Bad patches are always temporary if you both work at them. Women don't love you. They love how you make them feel. Oh, and buy one or two broad-based exchange-traded funds, investing every month a couple $100. You'll thank me in 20 years. If I did this in my late 20s or early 30s, I would have been semi-retired in my 40s, and that's ignoring my cryptocurrency mistakes. All on an average income too. Story 36. Women are like a drug, similar to alcohol. Too much whiskey makes you lose everything, but an occasional fresh, sparkling wine will make you happy. Story 37. Find anything you are interested in, such as guitar or cooking, and practice to improve your skills, or become very knowledgeable on a subject. It will do wonders for your self-esteem. Story 38. When someone shows something shaped like a red flag, don't dismiss it. It goes beyond your boundaries. Trust it and move on. Story 39. Not listening to your dentist as you would the voice of God. Thinking that you can eventually figure out a bad relationship and thus make the time investment not a waste. Story 40. Find a way to be happy to be alive regardless of your circumstances. Goals and ambitions are fine, but you do not need to succeed at them to be happy. Do not settle for a relationship with someone who does not make life more enjoyable. Do not rush into having children. Story 41. You are not obligated to react to everything, fix everything, or have an answer for everything. It is okay to let things take care of themselves. Things develop and change. Problems disappear or shrink often without you needing to get involved. Story 42. Do not take criticism from people you would not go to for advice. Many people will tell you that hard work does not matter. However, nothing helps my mental health more than seeing a project I worked hard on succeed and help others. Story 43. I am a woman, and so far the responses I am reading are really good. I wish more young men took all this advice. Story 44. It is not your duty to correct others. Someone cuts you off in traffic? Let them. There are much better ways to live your life than constantly needing to be right all the time. Also, you will be much more likable if you just let things go. Story 45. I sacrificed myself and my identity for someone else's happiness. In the end, she was not happy, and I lost myself and the things that made me happy. Do not lend friends money. Story 46. Do not waste your time, effort, money, and emotional resources trying to either fix a failing relationship that the other person wants to end. The decision has already been made. B. Fix a broken partner. You are not a therapist, a chaperone, or an emotional baggage carrier. Your finances will support you throughout your life. They need to be in order to protect your current and future security. Story 47. Learn to develop ways to sit with and move the energy from challenging feelings. Discover what emotional need is unmet beneath them and work on legitimately meeting that need. Don't just make the discomfort go away with a quick sexual release, a smoke, a drink, or similar. The brain is neuroplastic and will create dependence, eventually linking the pain of the unmet need or trauma to the release, creating unimaginable suffering that can take years to unwind. Learning to become emotionally regulated, get your needs met, and develop strong values will bring you into your divine masculine energy. This will enable you to create the life you want and have real impact in the world. Women, money, and everything else will be drawn to that naturally. Instead of looking for them to cure you and never feeling satisfied, cure yourself and become a manifester of them. Also, understand how powerful dopamine is and how things like pornography desensitize and addict you to intensity, disturbing your ability to see real women clearly. Let dopamine be created by amazing, connected sex with your actual aligned partner rather than programming your brain to believe random women from pornography are the answer to your unmet needs. Such programming warps your ability to find the right woman for you. Your brain is constantly programmed by your behavior and thoughts. By limiting dopamine, you develop the ability to find enjoyment in the smallest things instead of being addicted to intensity. This allows you to build immense attraction and excitement with a woman who is truly aligned with you rather than being forced to pursue women who mimic fantasies from pornography and are not a good fit to feel genuinely attracted to. Always prioritize alignment over thrill in relationships, work, and all big life decisions. No one ever went wrong by putting values ahead of dopamine. This is true spiritual discipline and channels into all aspects of life. Listen to your body and soul, let them inform your values, and stop trying to be something that doesn't feel safe. Story 48. Never smoke cigarettes. Start saving money early. Learn to live completely on your own. This includes everything from cooking meals to doing laundry. Never feel the need to rely on a woman. It is not their job to be your mother. Own at least 2 proper suits. Start with black, then navy blue. Have proper dress shoes as well. Remember, the first 2 things a woman notices about you are your shoes and your fingernails. Never cheap out on shoes or bedding. Read consistently. Education is free if you have a library card or internet access. Get a dog. Never draw negative attention to yourself. Learn to use a firearm and own one. Avoid cheap, low-quality guns. Get a reliable Glock. Story 49. Ask her out. Get up the courage and ask. Do not assume she will say no. Let her say it. Sure, she may be out of your league, but then she might not be. Story 50. What is one mistake you have made so a young man may not repeat it? Do not take out student loans if at all possible. Student loans really weigh you down in your 20s. I will never take out student loans again. Living under student loan debt during my 20s was depressing and not fun at all. Honestly, with how bad the 2025 jobs market is, you are probably better off financing a new or reliable car than taking out student loans. At least a new car is something tangible and real where you get something in return for your money. A degree is just a gamble nowadays because many degrees are saturated. Unless it is a degree with a guaranteed return on investment, such as healthcare-related careers like nursing or medicine, be very careful about accumulating large student loan debt. Story 51. When people disrespect you or do things you do not appreciate, let them know. If a woman you are seeing does this, then withdraw your attention instead. Keep it withdrawn until she corrects her behavior or asks you what is wrong. Story 52. I thought that said nature and not mature. Also, it is strange those words do not rhyme, especially given they both come from Latin. Anyway, my advice would be to always have those difficult conversations. Do not be mean, but be upfront and firm. Story 53. Aligning myself with a woman who was only interested in what I could do for her and her child. But once I decided to end the benefits, her true colors appeared. Fortunately, I learned this lesson in my 20s along with others. I know who I am, what I will tolerate, and what I will not. Story 54. You cannot keep giving someone the benefit of the doubt when they receive all the benefits and you receive all the doubts. Story 55. Buy real estate as early in life as possible. Do not expect to be able to afford to stay living in the same area where you grew up. It is mature and expensive. Your parents likely moved to a cheaper area for the same reason. If you inherit the family property, do not leverage the equity for cash. Soon you will have nothing again. I am lucky enough to still live in the first house I moved to after leaving my parents' home. Story 56. Cliché, but thinking you know it all. Also, there is a quote that goes something like this. The greatest mistake you can make is living in fear of making one. Story 57. Wear protection and make better choices when it comes to women. Having a child can be very costly. Child support court in your 20s is difficult. Some women will misuse that court system. I still have post-traumatic stress disorder whenever I think about or walk anywhere near that court building. Story 58. Trust your intuition about people. We all get a warning feeling when we are around certain types. If it causes alarm, leave. Story 59. Waiting until I was 32 to start a retirement fund. Even if you can only do $10 to $20 a week, do it. It grows to 100 times that by retirement if you start in your 20s. Even if your workplace does not have a 401k plan, it is easier than ever to start an individual retirement account. You do not even need to know how to invest. Just put your money in a target date mutual fund that aligns with your retirement year. I started one for each of my teenagers during COVID-19, and they have deposited thousands and earned amazing interest so far. Story 60. Drink a lot of water, drink just a few soft drinks, and avoid alcohol or artificial energy drinks. Your friend group will improve by subtraction, and your life will be better. Story 61. Prioritize your own mental and physical health as soon as you can. It will allow you to be a better man for yourself and for your loved ones. Story 62. I have a couple. Avoiding confronting problems. Avoiding being uncomfortable. Avoiding pain, both emotional and mental. Avoiding the truth and accepting it. You will not grow as a person if everything is ignored and swept under the rug. Story 63. Leave when a woman you are involved with disrespects you in word or actions, unless it was an accident and she immediately reverses and apologizes. If she shows or develops actual contempt for you, it never gets better, and she never keeps her promises to change in these cases. She will genuinely believe she has a right to treat you this way and that she is the injured one because you are contemptible to her. She will have more barely hidden visceral contempt because you allow yourself to be treated this way, so it will get cyclically worse with episodes of making nice. You can truly destroy your life this way, slow-boiled like the frog in the story, always waiting for approval from the person who has more contempt for you than anyone in the world. Story 64. Do not look to other people or things for your happiness. You need to find it in yourself. If you are not happy with yourself, you will not find happiness in other people. Story 65. Trying to find closure and reasoning for negative experiences and events. The typical male brain tries to rationalize and find the cause for poor outcomes, but sometimes bad things happen, and you have to accept them and move on. The sooner you do that, the easier it becomes. Story 66. For the love of God, it is not that important to start a fight over it. People do not understand how fragile humans are. You are all like eggs. A knockout by itself is traumatic, but if you hit your head on the concrete, you can die from that. That is just from a punch. God forbid someone brings a knife or a gun. Learn to de-escalate. Learn to calm down. Learn to walk away. Story 67. Not realizing that all relationships should be treated as investments. Friends, family, romance, and business relationships. If you are not getting a net positive return on the investment, it is time to cut your losses and move on to better opportunities. Do not hold on to something just because it was good in the past or because it has been in your life for a long time. You need to learn to let people go before it ends up costing you more than you can afford to lose. Story 68. I thought, like Louis Armstrong said, we have all the time in the world, but life goes progressively quicker as you age. You won't see your 30s if you blink twice, and the same goes for your 40s. Also, don't think you can get off life, go off the grid, and then come back as if nothing happened. Don't ever isolate yourself so much that you become a spectator of life. Catching the train again is very difficult, and chances are you won't. If you feel lost and don't know what to do with life, instead of waiting for fate or destiny to intervene, do something daring. Help others, travel to other parts of the world, but don't waste your life waiting. Story 69. Be extremely cautious about holding on to something or someone who is pulling away from you. 99 out of 100 times, the correct decision is to let it go. Story 70. Not seriously considering therapy and discussing medication early enough. I spent too much time trying to convince myself that I could work through it and that everything was okay. I would have saved myself and my loved ones a lot of pain and heartache if I had taken more initiative to get my head straight. Story 71. Never settle for your current life. Actively do things that will improve your quality of life, whether it is learning a new skill like basic car repair, going to the gym to get in shape, or taking college one class at a time so the cost is not overwhelming. Do not fall into the trap of saying, I do not have time for that, when realistically you just do not want to and lack the motivation. Story 72. Embrace the concept of incompatibility. If a woman rejects you, realizes you are not the right partner, or after 2 years suddenly wants something else, this is not a devaluation of your character. This is simply incompatibility showing through. It is okay for both of you to decide that you do not function well as a team. There is strength and pride in acknowledging this early and acting on it. If you do not see it as incompatibility, you will have a hard time moving on. Story 73. Dear, be yourself completely without apology. Do not let friends, family, or strangers change what you like and who you are under any circumstances. Story 74. I did not take accountability when I made a mistake. I could have stopped many pointless arguments and bitter feelings if I had just said, "You are right. That was really wrong of me and I am sorry." Story 75. Do not avoid addressing conflict. When you avoid conflict, the problem will not go away, and it will make matters worse in the future. This applies to your girlfriend, wife, family, and others. These issues always come back, and they need to be discussed and resolved. Story 76. When I was 22 or so, after a party, this older woman named Louise had the couch and I got the floor near her. She said, "There's room up here." I said I was okay on the floor. If it happens to you, don't hesitate, climb in. The worst that can happen is a better sleep. Story 77. Remember that what other people think of you is none of your business. Their own anxiety, jealousy, anger, and internal resentment influence their thought processes. They can deal with that themselves. Be the person you are and do not waste your time worrying about what others think. The exception, of course, is if you are constantly surrounded by difficult people. It is probably because of your own behavior. Do not be difficult. Story 78. Let go of your ego and never let your pride get in the way of what is right. Honestly, the number of people who cannot cope with owning up to a mistake and apologize is ridiculous. Accept the consequences, learn a lesson, and do not repeat behaviors you know from experience will cause you or others upset or harm. Story 79. Here's one. Do not do anything for someone that they can do for themselves. Trust that the people around you are complete and capable human beings. Even if they are not, becoming capable is their responsibility. You cannot do it for them, but you can keep them from doing it by enabling them. Story 80. I let myself get out of shape and party too hard well into my late 30s. It is really hard to get your body back to functional after abusing it for decades. So, by all means, party hard, but take time each day to stretch for 15 minutes. Make sure to dedicate a few non-party days or nights a week to healthy, active hobbies you can continue beyond the heavy social culture of a well-lived youth. Also, do at least one detox month a year focused on your body. You will save yourself a lot of physical pain and mental anguish. This advice also applies to more sedentary, introverted young people. Story 81. Most of my mistakes were made under the influence of alcohol. Have fun, but try to avoid crossing into blackout territory. Story 82. Make sure you are truly compatible in all aspects that are important to you with your partner before committing to them. Story 83. For the love of God, do not have unprotected sex if you are not planning on having children or marrying this woman. Also, if you are going to marry this woman, make sure you are on the same page about what you want out of a lifelong commitment. I have not made those mistakes, but I know people who have. One of my closest friends just went through an extremely painful divorce at 28 after 2 years of marriage because she wanted children and he did not. This is one of those things you discuss before marriage. A personal mistake is valuing work or your job over your mental health or personal well-being. Do not neglect your relationships to make money and get ahead. Your job does not care about you. They can and will replace you if they think they can find someone better and cheaper. I put so much time, effort, and energy into 2 jobs, and what do I have to show for it? A mountain of debt, and I have been unemployed for 2 years. Story 84. Stop smoking cigarettes. Alcohol is a drug. Treat it with caution. Do not work out while injured. Stretch very often, focusing on the whole body. Work on calisthenics movements, gradually adding repetitions and weight over time. It is much better for you than intense powerlifting. Try to enjoy every moment you can. Everything is fleeting. Be aware of stagnation in your job, school, education, or life. There is always more out there if you have the ambition. Meditate. Listen before you speak. Story 85. Maintain proper hygiene and exercise daily. Teeth do not grow back, and your body becomes more resilient the more you push it, within limits. Story 86. Unless you like life on hard mode, take care of your credit. When you turn 18, you will receive some offers. Pick one, use it, pay it, and build your score. My son has impeccable credit. If there is a silver lining to having experienced a lifetime of subpar credit, it is that my children know the importance of credit. Also, drink some water while you are at it. Fizzy drinks, juice, and adult beverages are all loaded with sugar. Drink water or zero sugar sodas. I dropped my A1C by 7 points over the last couple of years. Story 87. Be smart and avoid all the big blunders, but also do not be afraid to gain your own experiences. With them, you will inevitably make mistakes, but you need to make them. Story 88. Hold on loosely, as in the song. You do activities with your friends, she does activities with her friends, and sometimes you do activities together with mutual friends. You do not have to spend every second together, but make the time that you do spend together valuable. Pay attention. Put your phone away. Ask her to put her phone away. If she chooses not to, it shows you that whoever she is texting is more important than you. There is a time and place for it, but not all the time. Story 89. If your relationship is not good now, do not make it worse by proposing marriage, having a child, or anything similar. Story 90. Working a manual labor job, if you are taking painkillers to get through the day, something is wrong. You may end up with overuse injuries before you are even 30. Story 91. Being a workaholic. If you are a workaholic, in my opinion, you will be an older father and your child will not get all the energy they deserve and could have. You are less likely to have a happy marriage as you will have a smaller choice of partners. Your aging years, in your 40s and 50s, are busier and less calm than they should be as you are still dealing with child rearing. In my 20s and 30s, I worked crazy hours. Once I worked 14 days straight, from 6 a.m. to midnight without a break. Literally 2 weeks, Monday through Sunday. I pretty much lived and worked. The outcome of that is when others are in the bar or at a nightclub being turned down by women, I was in the office optimizing network packets. This means you are less likely to be in a relationship, more likely to meet your partner later in life, and therefore to be an older father with all that comes with it. Story 92. Talk less, listen more. Make sure to always be in rooms where you are the least knowledgeable person. Give back where you can, even if it only seems trivial at first. These decisions compound over time. Story 93. Buying an expensive car when getting the first full-time professional job is unwise. Spending $40,000 in 2003 money on a quickly depreciating item is not a smart decision. Story 94. Focus on yourself, no matter who you are with. I don't care if it is the love of your life, still focus on yourself. When you are a better version of yourself, you will benefit others more, including your partner. If she leaves, it does not matter because you are the best version of yourself. Never beg. Let her go. Finances. Always seek to save a portion of your salary. It does not matter if you earn little or a lot. Just make saving a habit. Never touch your savings account unless it is for significant investments, such as buying an apartment. Story 95. Never react emotionally. Once you give away your emotion, you give away all your power and make yourself vulnerable. Never react immediately. Always remain neutral first, then think rationally before responding. Story 96. Invest in yourself. Education never stops. Keep learning and follow your interests. Physical and emotional health are important and never stop. Learn to cut ties with people who do not support you. Do not be afraid to make mistakes or worry about what others think of you. Learn from them. Save and invest your money, but also have fun in the present. Story 97. Do not give hugs at work, even if you secretly have a crush on that person. Keep at arm's length. There is always someone who loves to cause drama and betray others because their life is boring. Ironically, they are the ones saying, "I hate drama." Story 98. I engaged in drunken sex once and will never do it again, especially when you are not in a long-term relationship with someone you truly love. Story 99. Do not use credit cards excessively. Have some open accounts and use them 2 to 3 times a year to buy gas. This establishes credit so you can buy a house and a better car. You will be paying off that weekend fun trip and that unnecessary purchase for 7 to 8 years at 5 to 6 times the cost. Do not get sucked into it. Story 100. Do not get comfortable in one place or situation. Keep moving. Try to go as far from home as possible while you are young. Story 101. Stop caring what others think about you. I spent most of my life trying to please people or acting a certain way to curry favor. I have learned now not to do it. I am just me now. Like it or lump it. Story 102. Do not cheat. Do not look outside your relationships for anything. If you are not getting something you need, tell your partner and talk about it. It will save you both so much heartache and pain. Story 103. Take care of your back. Lift properly with your legs, do not overdo it, and stop thinking that you are invincible. Your back is irreplaceable. Take care of it. Story 104. Learn how to listen well, use your words precisely, and look for emotional cues in others and yourself before deciding what to say in return. Trying to overcome gaps in social awareness and communication in your 30s is really hard. Story 105. Listen to people, doubt them, question them. If you really want to understand someone or be in a deeper relationship, you have to look at who they really are. Blind trust in people is the worst thing you can do. Story 106. Get out and enjoy life. Do not go looking for love. Love will find you if you love yourself. That person will choose to move mountains with you no matter what, as long as you do not cheat. Live, love, repeat. Story 107. At least in terms of dating, I tend to ignore significant warning signs about them and convince myself it will be different with me. Story 108. Remember, when trying to win a girl over, she also needs to win you over. Do not ignore red flags or things you do not like that would be problematic in the long term. Stay out of debt as much as possible. If she says, I just want to be friends, take it literally. It does not mean you can change her mind by spending a lot of time around her. Story 109. Cheating in a relationship is never acceptable. Either end the relationship or talk to your partner about whatever is going on inside your head. For me personally, it was my own personal demons and insecurities leading me to self-sabotage, which led to me destroying my own marriage years later. Story 110. Do not have sex with a person you would not marry. Check their credit rating and money habits as well. If they are a mess now, they will be in 20 years, and they will drag you down too. Story 111. Start your retirement with the first employer you have that offers a retirement plan. Try to find one right away. Complete the paperwork and keep track of your money. Always save something for a rainy day before you receive your paycheck. Unexpected expenses occur more often than you think. Story 112. Settling for anything less than the right person is unwise. Sometimes, the love you feel for someone is simply infatuation and lust. Marry for true love and happiness, not lust or fear of being alone. Be responsible with your money and avoid compulsive spending. If you go to strip clubs, you may as well throw dollar bills out the car window because at the end of the night, you will be broke and alone. Story 113. Learn 3 different dishes you can cook. Choose ones you like and you will master them. This will improve your overall cooking skills, which is beneficial for many reasons. Story 114. Choose with care, not with emotions. You want someone who is committed to the partnership and prioritizes it for life. Story 115. Protect your peace, but also do not be cruel or unsociable to people who caused you to want to put up those barriers in the first place. They may have changed too. Reconnect or not based on the current state, not the past. Story 116. Not realizing that, for the overwhelming majority of females, you convince yourself that this one is different, she is not like all the rest, and do not accept the fact that she is not yours. It is only your turn. Young men age like fine wine, women age like milk. Story 117. If she says she is on birth control pills and proposes not to use a condom, do not trust her, even if it makes her angry. Story 118. Choosing your spouse is the most important decision you will ever make. Everything in your life that follows that wedding will be affected by your spouse. This means you should work to improve yourself and mature so that you can make a good choice, and you should also work to improve yourself and mature so that you will be someone else's good choice. Story 119. I see 2 mistakes. Not eating enough. Sounds simple, but I nearly let myself die. not keeping in touch with people more. If you do not assert yourself and actively try to keep people in your life, they will not stay. I can think of many people I wish I was still in contact with now. Story 120. Care too much about what women think about you. Do not give a damn and live your life how you like it. This kind of attitude attracts more women anyway. Story 121. Do not bother with women who have nothing to lose and nothing to offer except headaches. Besides straining my back gardening, interacting with low-value women are the only mistakes I have made. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.